Hey, what's up again? It's Juice from Juice Plop's Happy Hour bringing you another quickie. I did not do an after hours after last podcast we had simply because the whole thing was kind of in disarray. We did do the cigar, which was a great cigar. I'll talk about that in a second. And then with the comics that we did, the only one that we really got together was Carnage USA, and we had a guest on the show, and we talked about just other comics in general that maybe me and Plop had, but he didn't read, or maybe me and the guest had, and Plop didn't read, things like that. So um, there wasn't really much to go on with that, and just being busy, all that good stuff. So the first part of this video, I'll take a real quick uh, we'll take a real quick recap of our last podcast with the Gurkha 8-Year Legend and how good that cigar was, and then our comic book pick of the week, and then I'll move on to our quickie with the new cigar, new comics. So, last podcast we had was Lucky Number 7, and the cigar we did was the Gurkha 8-Year Legend, which was, I have it right here, CigarsInternational.com rated it at a 90. It was a cigar from Honduras with, I believe, I want to say Dominican long fillers. Yep. A Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, a Maduro Connecticut broadleaf wrapper, and Dominican long fillers. And it was a really good cigar. We gave it an almost, I think, about an 85 out of 100. We have a new rating system. If you don't know what it is, check it out on our podcast. I'll leave links below. But we have a new grading system that we're putting the cigars on, and I think it's a lot better. We go into a lot more depth of the cigar and what we think about it, and we have a lot more points to play around with to get it more accurate. So um, overall, I think it was an 85, 84.7 or 85 out of 100. Um, and that's really close to what CI rated it as a 90. And it was really good. It had a lot of chocolate and cocoa flavors. It was nice. And our guest that was on the podcast, Smoking with Bot, this was his first premium hand rolled cigar, and he loved it. He enjoyed it so much, and he actually got to taste some of the flavors, which a lot of new smokers, when you smoke a cigar, they don't really taste. But he really got to taste some of the pepper on the lips, um, and that chocolatey kind of taste to it. So definitely a good cigar. Check it out. And if you listen to our podcast, you'll know that me and Plop aren't big fans of Gurkha. We think they're okay cigars, but are just extremely overpriced. And this one, if you can get it for, I would say, $9 to $10 or less, definitely worth a buy. Um, like I said, a lot of chocolate, a little bit of pepper. Of course, you get that kind of earthy, woodsy smell and taste to it. Definitely just an all-around good cigar. Highly enjoyable. And that was the Gurkha 8-Year Legend. And our comic book pick of the week last week was Carnage USA. Mainly because that's the only one that we really read that we both had. I had some comics that he didn't have. He had comics I didn't have, and all that good stuff. So Carnage USA, it was a good read. Definitely enjoying it. It's twisted, it's dark, it's carnage. What more can you say about it? Anything else? I don't think so. We were just in good presence of a old buddy and we went to elementary school with him, all the way up middle school, high school, and we finally, we never really hung out that much, besides at recess or something. But find out we have a lot of the same kind of likes, dislikes. Got in touch, had him come on the show. He's a wealth of knowledge with comics, and he taught us comics. We taught him cigars, so it was a nice little trade-off, and I'd be really excited to have him back on. Um, and he actually runs a YouTube video, and I will put that link at the bottom of this video. He runs Rageful Reviewer, I believe, and he's under the name Smokey McPopbot, or Smokey. So definitely a good guy. and he does a lot of game reviews on his channel. All right, so let's move on to the upcoming podcast. Cigar for the week is the Alec Bradley. Let's see here. Alec Bradley American Classic Blend. It is rated at a mild to medium body. Here's the band on it. It's kind of hard to see. There we go. Man, fingernails are chewed up. But Alec Bradley American Classic Blend. It's overall, the appearance of it's nice. It has a real classic looking cigar appearance to it. Very like a cedary kind of smell, cedar smell. That's all. It's very mild, very mellow. So I'm not expecting a lot from the cigar. I mean, I'm expecting a good taste, but I'm not expecting a lot of complex flavors come through. Has a nice cap on it. Really no veins on it. It's not lumpy. It's uniform. It's pleasant smelling. The band on it, I actually kind of like the band. I'm not a big fan of fancy bands, but this one it's classy. Let's put it that way. It's a classy band. Its origin is Nicaragua, Toro size, 6-inch city ring gauge. Full. Let's see. I think it's a Honduran grown Connecticut wrapper. Yep, a Honduran grown Connecticut wrapper, which should provide a little bit of a spice to it, a little bit of a kick, but not a lot because it's Connecticut, and Connecticut's don't usually have a lot of strong, peppery spice kick taste to it. So I'm expecting a little bit of pepper, just enough to know it's there, and a very mild and cool smoke. And with the Nicaraguan long fillers, I think I'm going to enjoy the cigar. Even though it's mild to medium, I prefer medium to full, ideally full. But I think the cigar is going to be a good one. Just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it's going to have just a little bit of pepper, just enough to know it's there, like I said. Probably like a earthy taste to it, earthy, woodsy, with maybe a hint of like a bread or some type of like a peanut flavor to it. That's what I'm guessing the cigar is going to have. So I guess we'll see when we smoke it. That's the Alec Bradley American Classic Blend. It's a very classic cigar, basically. Nothing too fancy about it. We'll see how that plays out. Alright. Now comics this week. Here we go. Starting it off. DC New 52. And yes, my comics are bagged and boarded, Smokey. See? I haven't even read this one yet, and I put it in a bag and board just to show you that they are bagged and boarded. Batman #6, Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo. Oh man, last comic was just awesome. What a mind trip. I'm expecting this one just to pick off where the last one left off. And as you can see, the cover on it is creepy looking. These talon things, just out of his mind. If you read the last comic, you'll know exactly where we're coming from on this one. So I'm expecting more of that. And I love what Scott Snyder did with the last one. Love the art from Greg Capullo. Just, I'm itching to read this one, which I'll probably do as soon as I'm done with this little YouTube video. Next we have Wonder Woman. Last one left off with Wonder Woman meeting. Excuse me. Wonder Woman coming into contact with Poseidon, a person or demigod that may be her brother, and also Hades, which I didn't know who it was. At first I thought it was Apollo, but obviously it's not Apollo because he had the dog, the triple-headed dog. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it was Hades. And I said I didn't like his look in the last comic, and I still don't like his look, but it makes a lot more sense because the thing he had on his head, this weird lava looking thing, they're actually candles that are lit. And it becomes more clear in this issue, because I've already read it, that they are candles. So, what can you expect from this comic? You can expect for it to pick up where it last left off in Wonder Woman 5 with the battle between Poseidon and Wonder Woman and what may come from that. And expect to see Hera and a truth being told between Wonder Woman, the so-called brother of hers, Hades, Poseidon, and all that good stuff. Alright, next we have The Amazing Spider-Man. What number is this? 679.1. We decided to jump on this because the .1 series is jumping on point for new readers. And I haven't been reading any Spider-Man except for Avenging Spider-Man. So me and Plop definitely are looking to hop on this. And I'm really enjoying the cover. Very classic. Sorry, tired. Just a classic look to it. And I can't tell you anything about this because I have no idea where the last comic left off. I know it's Spider-Man, it's Peter Parker. That's all I know. Then we have Avenging Spider-Man. Last one left off where Spider-Man defeated that big warrior-looking guy by basically cutting off his underwear. And yeah, that's where the last one left off. He saved the day, saved the Red Hulk, and now he's teaming up with Hawkeye. And like I said, I think this is pretty much a Marvel team-up. Spider-Man's going to team up with all the Avengers. So after Nighthawk, not sure who it's going to be, but this is the beginning of a new story arc with Nighthawk. And last, but definitely not least, Uncanny X-Men. Right here. Last issue we left off with this thing right here. I think he calls himself an Apex, or he's a being called Apex, and he's evolving incredibly fast. He learned the English language in a couple of hours. He thinks that the X-Men aren't even sentient beings because their language is so easy to understand. And there's actually two beings that call themselves Apex, and they call themselves pretty much good Apex and bad Apex. The good one is teaming up with the X-Men to help stop the bad one. The bad one, he's wanting to destroy everything. So that's what they're battling against. And I've already read this issue. It's a good issue. That's all I can really say about it. It's good. So there we have it. We got a new shipment of cigars that came in today. So if you're part of the CM Cigar of the Month Club, get those cigars, giving you humidor. This is right here. This is Alec Bradley. This is the last cigar we're doing for the month. After the next podcast, we will rate it, and we will have our winner of the month between the Alec Bradley, the Gurkha 8-year legend, the La Gloria Cubana Artesanos Retro Especial, and the Monte Cristo White. And we'll see who the top dog is for the month. And then starting after the podcast, we'll start all over with great cigars that came through. We actually will have 5 to do. Not sure if we're going to do one of them because it's CI's own cigar, but it looks delicious. I'll say that. It looks great. That's supposed to be included with this month's, but it wasn't. So, let's see, anything else? I don't think so. I think that's it. I'll leave links at the bottom of this after it's all ready to go on how to get hold of us. Twitter, email. Obviously, we got the YouTube, our podcast website, and I'll also leave. Sorry, it's getting late. I will leave a link to Smokey's channel. And there's something else I was going to say. News. We had a bunch of news. One is Um, Gotham Imposters. Originally thought it was a $15 game that you downloaded with $220 worth of downloadable content. It is still all that, but that is pretty much a time saver. Um, you can pay $15 for the game, and if you play the game, you can get all the downloadable content from playing the game. The extra $220 is just to make it so you don't have to wait. Other news is Skyrim got Game of the Year, Story of the Year, and Game Engineering of the Year. Mortal Kombat got Fighting Game of the Year, and definitely check out Game Informer, check out Skyrim, and the possible additions that could be added to the game, such as spears, mounts for dragons, mounted battle, adoption, build your own house, and some graphic changes to the game, like seasonal foliage and better underwater vision and things like that. So definitely check it out. I'll put a link down to Game Informer so you can check all that stuff out. So when Sunday rolls around, we'll have podcast number 8. Keep listening to us. We enjoy it. We enjoy having you listen to us. We enjoy doing it. Podcast number 7 that we just did was a super long podcast. It was 4 hours long. I definitely understand if you don't listen to the whole thing. Comics took up the majority of it just because we had someone on the show that's been in comics way longer than we have, since the 90s. So he was able to tell us more about things that we may not have known. But the cigar review towards the beginning, it was just a blast. Listen to what you can. It's great. So until next time, this is Juice, and we'll see you here next time.